Hello, everybody. Just getting the camera angle right. There's not a great preview on this before we start, so always have it angled a little funny right before we get going.
We're gonna have to get closer.
Are we
together.
really close? We're smushed. You're gonna make me hot and sweaty. You're getting all close like that.
I got to get in here.
Oh
shoot!
Oh, and she's got the chat on, so
Okay,
double hearing us.
Can't do that. Okay, that's not gonna work.
Hi, Reba.
I had something I wanted to share, but maybe I won't be able to do it.
Yeah, we were just figuring out, can we share files or pictures?
Pictures,
or,
yeah.
You know, how does live, like what else can you do with live? We're still learning it. This is our like 7th or 8th.
I'm already hot.
Well, you're sitting so close to me. We're creating a furnace between the two of us. So.
Oh, hello.
Reba,
I know.
Tracy, tell her, like, give me some space.
Well, wait, this is the line in the middle here. Maybe you need to scoot over a little bit.
Me. I'm the problem. Okay. Of course. I scooted over, but you scooted back over. All right.
So let's say hi. Reba, Tracy, yes. Jenny, Laura, Billy. None of your business.
None of your business.
None of your business. Nanya. Leslie. Hello, Leslie.
Hi. And Kim.
Hello, everybody.
So I know most of you know that we had to cancel this like 10 days ago because of family emergency. But I was so ready to do this meetup. I was so excited for it. Like I spent a lot of time constructing this because it is a 7-year. And so the practices that we're going to go over today, one of the things we're going to talk about, like we call this witch habits, but that you could also just call them spiritual habits. And defining that for you, like what's a witch habit versus a spiritual habit? Are they the same? Maybe they aren't. To me, they're mostly the same. That's being a witch for me is my spiritual journey. So I think that the two terms are interchangeable. So we are going over 13 witch habits for 2023. And I chose the number 13 because I love the number. I love it because everybody else was afraid of it, number one. So growing up, I really liked horror movies. And I was like, ooh, Friday the 13th. I'm like, I think it's special.
I always like that stuff too.
Everything that people thought was like creepy or ominous or nefarious, I'm like, I'm instantly attracted to that.
This weekend, my friend did her bill, and she's like 6667, and she changed the tip amount on it because she didn't like 666.
She was uncomfortable.
She was uncomfortable with that, and I didn't say a word. I could have tried to help alleviate some of her fears about 666.
It is a fear thing.
But I kept, my know-it-all mouth shut.
I'm proud of you.
Because sometimes.
I know that's very hard.
It is very hard because sometimes you just feel like you want to tell people stuff, and they don't, You
want to open people's eyes, but then not everybody's ready for that. So you kind of got to gauge the situation.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for not just putting it all out there. That's good.
Oh, whose necklace do you love, ladies? Mine or Jamie's?
Both. I think it's both. It's not a competition, Mom.
It doesn't say necklaces. Oh, yes, it does. Thank you,
Tracy.
Actually, this was a gift from Jamie for Christmas for me.
Yes. The little thing unscrews. You guys have probably seen them, but it unscrews and you can put, essential oils or ashes or whatever you want in here. A little tiny, tiny scroll of a spell. You could do that. I have nothing in mine. I love amethyst, so I'm wearing it as is.
And I don't have anything yet, even though that is the intent of it, is to put something in it. But I thought about putting your dad's ashes in it.
Yeah. I still have my ash necklace, so I'm still a little sick, you guys. So I apologize if the coughing gets a little loud. I have a drink here and a backup drink ready to go, so that I don't break out in like a coughing spell. What do we call those? Like a coughing fit. That's what I was thinking.
Coughing fit, yeah.
But and there's a lot to go over, and it's only 7:04. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started because for 13 things, this is a lot to cover, and we want to give you guys personal stories so that the information is easily easily memorable. Say it.
Yeah, what she said.
That so that you can remember it more easily. There, I had to search it
recall.
All around.
It will help. Stories will help with recall.
Yes, because then you can match it to something. You can picture it being used.
Yes, exactly.
But kind of what I was saying at the beginning is calling these habits witchy is a personal preference. These can be called spiritual habits. They can be called just your habits. But there are things to get you into a place where I think that's what represents me as a witch. And I wanted to give you guys like a very loose definition of what is spiritual and witchy to us, to me. I think to both of us, but she didn't help write these 3 things. So I'm going to read them. And
but I really like them when I read them, and I'm going to actually do some of the, as we give you an action and then like a task to follow up, or Jamie does. And I'm going to follow through with these because I think they're really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting, if anyone,
I'm a newer witch, for those of you who don't remember. So I'm like 4 years. I don't know if I can still call myself. I feel like I'm still new compared to my daughter.
You'll feel
anyway.
new forever.
Compared to my daughter anyway, for sure.
But I learn new stuff all the time. So that's part of the journey. And we're going to actually discuss that, like keeping up on learning and growing. But here's my loose definition of the witch and spiritual words and what they really mean to me. Number one, it's being in control of yourself. So I think being a witch means that you're very aware of yourself and being in control of yourself, your actions, your reactions, how you treat people, the planet, animals, whatever it is. So it's when you get into shadow work, so outward is kind of easier to see than our inner talk even. So it's even being in control of the thoughts that go through your mind and whether or not those are healthy for you. The second thing is an active practice of some kind, like whether it is meditation or spell work or sitting with yourself in nature, moon work, whatever it is. But I think being a witch and being spiritual both mean you have a practice. Like there's something that you do routinely. There's a habit of tapping into something other than yourself, something other than like problems and surviving the life game. And number 3, it's aligning with nature. Because I think ultimately, as we become more spiritual or more witchy, you start to see the element of nature and why it is so beautiful and why we should reconnect with it, and how as we get more advanced in civilizations that we get more disconnected from nature. And it feels not wrong, but it feels like the opposite thing for me to do. Like I want to connect more with nature, not less. So those are my 3 things. That's like, what's a witchy habit? A habit is those 3 things. Being in control of yourself, having an active practice of some kind, and then connecting with nature. So we'll go on to 13 habits.
So you want me to help?
I want you to start. Yes. I know I'm
already struggling.
Ooh,
Sucks. Okay. All right. So number 1 is, first of all, after that little introduction of the 3 things that we feel make you a witch or
make up witchy habits.
Witchy habits,
or spiritual habits.
So your first task is to, in your own words and without using the internet. So everybody grab a pencil.
Come up with it on your own.
Define what you think a practicing witch looks like, sounds like, and acts like.
Yeah.
So that's something for you too, because what you just heard was Jamie's definition, and I happen to subscribe to what she believes in, probably because she's kind of been my mentor, my witch mentor.
Teacher.
Yeah. So, and I've just adopted it, and it all makes a lot of sense to me, and I have examples of it and all of that. So, in your own words, write down what you think a witch looks like, a practicing witch looks like, acts like, and sounds like.
And the reason that's helpful is because when you add in your practices, you can ask yourself, does this align with what I'm trying to practice? Does this align with my goals, with who I want to become, with what I'm trying to become? And that's why having the definition first, and you can change it. You can change it a million times. It can evolve. It probably should evolve. At first it was like witches wear black and pointy hats and do spells. Like that's the gist of it. But it gets so much more the more that you get into it. Let your definition evolve with you as you learn and grow too.
Well, because the evolution is your higher spiritual self. So a kinder self, a more compassionate self, a less judgy, a less selfish person here in this
classroom.
Yes.
I'm going to call it Earth the classroom.
All right. Let's see. So the first thing, number 1 on our list,
the first thing to practice for 2023.
Yes.
Because this is a spiritual year. Remember, this is all based around like becoming more spiritual.
Yes.
Sorry, I felt like I needed to reiterate that.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's all right. Is to be selfless to a stranger. This means you help someone and expect nothing in return.
That's what selfless is.
Also called giving back. This year, look for opportunities to let someone go in front of you in line, buy someone a meal, give to a homeless person, help an elderly person, just some way, some small
Selfless,
act of
yeah.
kindness where you don't expect, I think a smile, just, I find people are really
Compliments and
receptive.
smiles.
I
yeah.
think people are very receptive when you smile at them. I have so many stories of resting bitch face for my whole life that I could tell you guys, where people are like scared of me because they're like, oh my God, she's such a bitch. I'm not, but I had resting bitch face. So they thought that. So I'm really working hard on that. Like, smile, hi, remembering what's here and what people perceive as the look on my face. So be kind to a stranger. So how this affects you.
This is like what's the effect of it? So how is it witchy? How's this a witchy practice? Because anybody can practice this and they don't have to call it a witch practice, right? But it's how it aligns with what you want your witch practices to be. Like, how do you become more spiritual? Okay.
In doing this selfless act, you are sending out kind, loving vibes into the universe. You are also helping shift someone else's energy to feel your kindness and then to feel gratitude for an unexpected kindness.
Yeah.
So what ways, so here's something for you to think about. In what ways can you think about being selfless to a stranger?
Yeah. And look for opportunities to do so. Sometimes we're in a rush. We're really in the ego. We're really about ourselves. And sometimes we need to be, and that's okay. I'm not telling you guys to always be selfless at all. I'm saying look for opportunities to say, I have the energy, the momentum, everything's okay right now. I have the energy to put this out into the universe, like this kind and loving thought, vibe, whatever it is. And you just look for that. It's opportunities, and you can make them, you can look for them, but you're shifting the energy of the world when you do a kindness. When we run around here, like just for ourselves, trying to, I don't know, the rat race that comes to mind. Like people always say that.
Yeah. So I have an example that I'd like to share. So yesterday I went to Tampa and I went through the toll booth, because we got to go through a toll booth going across the Skyway Bridge a couple times back and forth. And each time I went up to the toll person, I don't know what they call them, but the people go by and probably throw their money at them and they can't wait to get out of there, right? I was very deliberate, looked them in the eye, smiled, said thank you. And you know what? I could see the reaction on people's faces. They were like, oh my gosh, someone actually recognizes that I'm here doing this job.
I'm a human.
That I'm a human being. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Number 2. Awareness of signs from the universe or your team of light. Have you ever asked the universe for a sign? Personal divination with your guides is 100% possible. All you have to do is ask and then keep your eyes open.
Yes. Awareness.
You get to create a sign language with your guides by acknowledging them and keeping track of your signs in a journal. We want you to be journaling anyways, but if you are just starting out, this is a good place to start. How is this witchy, or how's this a witchy practice? This is the beginning of communicating with the other side. It deepens your connection to the spirit world and gives you confidence in your ability to divine, get answers through nonverbal communication.
Because when we're communicating with the other side, unless you work on your actual psychic abilities and you get the screen that, words can come up and stuff, but usually it is a lot of pictures. Research psychic mediums and they'll tell you, like, mostly the things that come up in our heads are pictures of stuff. It's a flash of an image. There's not clear words. They don't tell you somebody's name and address and, last 4 of their social security number. It doesn't happen like that. They're more like, they need you to interpret signs and things that are important to you. That's why each psychic's, I call it a sign language, even though it's not like ASL, American Sign Language. It's more the signs that you perceive. Like, they understand all the things that have happened to you in your life and why certain things might really stand out to you. Like for my dad passing over, it was cardinals. So anytime I see cardinals or I have like really awesome encounters with some of the bird wildlife, I think of my dad because that was his thing. Like, he would sit outside for hours feeding the birds or the chipmunks or whoever would come and eat from his hand. Like, he was all about that life. So it became the sign for us. And because we thought it, even if he hadn't acknowledged that at first, now he knows that Now he knows that he can send a cardinal and like it'll be instant thoughts of us, or we'll think of him instantly. So I think we all do this from a young age. We look at things and we're like, it's just like the black cat thing, or like the number 13 or 666. These are all signs that you're like, when you see it, you're like, oh, something means something. That's called external divination. So it's perceiving a message from a sign. And you can do this by purposely saying, hey, team of light, I'd really like to see, a hot pink rhino. And then I know that's you. So make it, if you need to make your own signs and you want a message, make it something that you can't necessarily see every day, that has to kind of stand out to you and be like, whoa, too much of a coincidence. That'll give you the confidence to keep moving forward and talking to them. And I think that's one of the things is like, what do you already think are your signs from the universe? Like when you find a feather, do you feel lucky? If you find a penny, if you see a certain car, or like, do sunsets have a special meaning for you? It's where are you looking for sort of a message from the universe or from source or from the oneness that really touches your heart and soul. Like, and it doesn't need to be accepted by anybody else. It's just for you. So understand that too. We can all talk about which signs we have and what we think are our signs. And each person will have different ones. And that is the right way. That is good. You don't want to always have the same ones. As people write about signs, it's because they're very common,
Butterflies. Tracy mentioned butterflies.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We had butterflies we had a butterfly show up at a wedding that was.
Oh yeah, the wedding thing.
That I know was a young girl that had that was gone.
Yeah, that was a great story.
That was a big one.
That was amazing.
And then I just want to acknowledge Reba saying that she's fed up with all the hate in the world, and I think I feel you there. And I think the thing that we can do is to try to spread the kindness, and that's why I really make a concerted effort anymore to just try to be nice to people and spread kindness wherever I go. So I think that's what we do to combat that.
Yeah.
But I get where I totally understand, but we can change that.
Well, if we're in control of ourselves, right? We don't have to spread the hate.
Yeah.
And when we see it, we can try to say something kind and shift the energy.
Yes.
Weird story. I was getting a public sub the other day, and I could tell the girl was very frazzled. And I don't know if she was new. I'd never seen her there before. And we get public subs a couple times a week. I don't know. Anyway, she was very frazzled. And to me, I have panic attacks, or have. I know what one looks like. And she looked like she was starting to have a panic attack. So I tried to calm her down. Like, I wasn't being a demanding person, obviously. I was just like talking to her very normally, waiting for her to get her, like, whatever time she needed. I was in no rush. So I started trying to give her compliments to get her to talk about herself and feel more comfortable, So she had a nose ring. I was like, I really like your nose ring. My mom just got one. And I tried to go in there with that. It didn't help her. She still had to step away. She was like, I need a minute. And she called somebody else in to finish my order. And I'm like, well, there's nothing I could do for that. Like, I did my best to try to help her feel comfortable in my presence or be at ease with taking an order. So you're not in control of whether or not it affects other people. Like, you can only do what you can do. And then whether they receive it or not is not up to you. So you also have to be aware of that. Put that energy out there, do your best with it. And then if it's not picked up or received, walk away and be like, well, I tried. They could have been feeling good after our conversation, but instead they're walking away pissed off. That's on them.
Okay. So that was your actions, or your thing to do is like, what are the things you already think are signs from the universe?
What's already special to you?
Yeah. Okay. Number 3, when you need to make a decision or solve a problem, spend time in nature.
This is science too, you guys. So
nature provides stable, passive energy, meaning each ecosystem you walk in, each plant you encounter is just being itself.
Yes.
Nature's natural state is to seek balance.
Mm-hmm.
When we enter nature out of balance or a mental query, nature soothes us back into balance. And from a balanced, calm state, we can make decisions easier.
Yes. That's why you become imbalanced by the world around you, right? Like, things frustrate you, annoy you, whatever. But when you step into nature, which is always seeking balance, it's always at the same level of passive energy, the plants, the trees, everything's moving in a cycle. It's already created its own balance. So when you step into that balanced atmosphere, you then can become balanced. Like, it will help everything in your body shift to become equal. Like, it'll fix your equilibrium with that.
Connecting your body to nature naturally grounds you also.
Yes.
So
Science.
This habit, so how is this witchy or spiritual? This habit reduces stress and allows you to use the energy of nature to heal and balance. No ritual or spell needed.
Yes. I don't have this in here. I can't believe it. I guess I knew I was going to say it. When you go out and you put your body on the earth, so feet, hands, if you lay down, whatever it is, or if you hug a tree that's deeply rooted into the earth, you stay there with it for, say, 10 minutes. You are grounding yourself and doing nothing to make that happen. Like the earth is actually grounding you. You don't have to focus your energy and do anything. You can let nature handle that for you. So it's a little tip or trick when you don't have the energy to do a spell or a ritual for grounding and kind of bring back your self. Go out and touch nature. Like literally just put your hand on a tree for 15 minutes. I would say hug a tree, but bugs, bark, it can get uncomfortable, but touch it like with your bare hands or bare feet and just stand there with it, because everything has this electrical pulse running through it and it's trying to equal you out. It's going to literally take your extra energy that's making you sad, depressed, anxious, whatever, and it's going to level it out.
So who already uses nature to calm down or take a breather? Interesting. Vacation commercials always seem to be in nature. They always
Do you
show
ever
people,
notice that?
They always show people like relaxing
on a
in
beach.
nature.
Yeah, they're like away from everything. They're in nature. They're like, they have these great views of nature when you go on vacation. A lot of times that's what it looks like. Haha, because they already know, like we crave that. We don't even know we crave it and we crave it. I love that one.
Okay. Number 4, pick 6 witchcraft or spiritual books to read or listen to this year. A spiritual journey is accomplished through expanding your knowledge.
Growing.
Books on witchcraft are plentiful and written from many perspectives. Find 6 books and allot yourself 2 months for each book. Read it, take notes, apply the teachings. If books aren't your thing, follow a podcast that will support your growth. You can also subscribe to a new YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. We have many we recommend on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, on our channel.
So the effect of this is by the end of the year, you will have surely learned about a new topic and about yourself. You're setting goals, making time for your own interests, and learning and exploring. So who has a book list already?
Yeah.
And where will you put your books so that you'll be sure that you read them?
Because I know I've been talking to a couple witches lately, you guys, and I know we buy books and we're like, oh man, I've got like 6 now, but they all look so good, and I bought them all, and now
so many plans to read.
And
I like that you gave the time of 2 months, because sometimes if you get a book and then you feel pressured to read it, it takes the joy out of it.
It does. Well, and I think that a lot of times when I'm reading a book, I want to try to apply the practices. So I like to give myself time to like digest. If I really want to incorporate it, digest and apply. Mm-hmm. So give yourself lots of time. 6 a year is a lot, especially if you're also doing YouTube channels. I mean, if you're with us, we're like a book every week or something. I don't know. We give out a lot of information, so it's a lot to take in, and you can listen and apply minimal amounts of it, but find also what sticks, because what I've learned with a lot of my witchcraft books is, 30% of the book is applicable to me and something that I would actually do. The rest of it is just super interesting. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. That's a new perspective. I'm not going to do that, but I like that I've learned how somebody else may do it. So it's also, that's the growth part of it. You're just building your knowledge base of what other witches might do, how others might practice. And then you can you'll call on that information later. Like I said, if there's a story with it and you can picture somebody doing the event, it's like you were there with them. So you have that connection. And then as you get further along in your practice, you may end up implementing it later, but it's kind of like, it's always there. Yeah. Books are my bad habit. Like, I don't smoke. I buy lots and lots of books and don't read them, and they sit on a shelf.
And I have to take pictures of her books because I'm like, oh, that looks so good. So I take pictures of them, and then like, I'm going to put that on my list of books that I want.
But I want to remind everybody, when I first started in 1999, there were no books on witchcraft. Like, it was all very slim to none, and it really, they like to give it like the scary look. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really about that. So I love all the books that are being written now. They're so light and love and like earth, and I just love it. Light and love. Love it.
Okay. Number 5, charm or bless your food,
All of them, fruit, food, veggies.
which may feel like praying.
Yeah. Have you ever thought that spell work or mantras or visions or anything feels like praying? Yes, they are similar or same. It's just where your destination thing is headed towards, where you're directing your energy. With prayer, it's usually religious, and with us, it's more spiritual. It's like to the entire universe, not just one being that sits on a cloud and like judges people.
So this is a very easy thing to do. It takes just a moment to say out loud or in your head, I am grateful for the sun, soil, and season that allows this food to nourish my body. Now, in your mind, think of the food, fruit, or vegetable growing in the ground, soaking up Earth's energy, soaking up the sun's energy, and visualizing all that energy contained in the food going into your body and healing and nurturing your cells. Try adding a simple mantra or affirmation.
Oh, you gotta like this one. You gotta read it slow though.
Like kind of like an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Wait.
Only our example here is
our example. You guys ready for this?
Food I love to eat keeps me healthy head to feet.
Yay! When I was
it's always great when they rhyme.
I know. I can come up with little quips like that so easily. So out of nowhere, that just came to my head, and I was like, I like to eat. I enjoy food. I really do. I don't eat a lot of different foods, but the foods I do eat, I love. So food I like to eat.
The best food too.
Oh, that's super
sweet. It's all super fresh, and
I like.
Billy, we have an answer for that. Effect here we are practicing intention, mindfulness, gratitude, and visualization, all of which are used in spell work. You're adding a little something to a habit you already do, eat food.
Eating food.
This could also help you not eat food that is bad for you because if you visualize where Oreos come from or where McDonald's or burger comes from, you might be less inclined to eat it. So
quality over quantity.
So what are you usually doing when you eat?
This is a big thing. What are you doing when you eat? Because I feel like now we eat so mindlessly. In the military, I just ate really fast. It was like, just get food in you so that you're not hungry. Like, just do it. Just hurry up and eat. So I kind of had to break that when I got out of the military so that I could enjoy things and not just think about, I don't want to starve. So peanut butter and jelly 24/7 is what I ate most of the time. As an adult, you guys, like into my 30s, I still have that habit. If I don't know what I want to make myself, I'm like PB&J. That's it. It's my go-to with blueberry jelly all the time. So I want you to really consider like a fresh apple. And I don't know, an apple comes to mind because I feel like it's been the center of attention like in elementary school, and there's just been a lot with apples. So if you're going to eat an apple, this is one example of a food you might do. While holding your apple, because this is about blessing your food, you're thinking about that you're very grateful that there was. Do you know how long it takes to grow an apple? Did you know that in order for an apple to bloom, the temperature has to drop below 30 degrees just to get the plant to flower? So there's all this stuff that goes into making that apple. Like, it takes a lot of the right conditions for an apple to grow. And then to get it from, the West Coast to here in Florida, even though we do have a Florida apple, it's just not very plentiful yet. So you're thinking about the soil that it takes, how much sun it takes. It sits on the plant for 8 months before it's truly ripe and ready to go. And then all the hands and people that go into it to bring it to your store, wherever you're at, so that you can eat this fresh, delicious apple. And so being grateful for all those moving parts and all the things that had to happen so that you have an apple that can bring nourishment to your body, because apples are healthy, mostly. It's like just the thought of like the whole trip the apple went through before it's right there in your hands. I find that really helps me like think about my food and being grateful for it and all of the journeys that I had to take to get here. What somebody else had to go through to grow it. If you've never grown your own food, it is fucking hard, okay? Just to let you know, I try to grow food like year round, and I'm battling like bugs and sun and drought and all kinds of other stuff. Oh man, my sweet potatoes, I had a massive hoard of sweet potatoes, which I love. And then the next year, that same bed, exact same position, eaten alive by bugs. I was like, wow, I expected to have this massive load of sweet potatoes that I give away, I give them to people. But no, the bugs got them. I did not get any sweet potatoes. They all looked like the moon. They all had craters and holes, and it was insane. So blessing your food or being thankful or having like gratitude towards it is just a really mindful way of like appreciating your daily stuff. And then, yeah, if you want to bless if you eat at McDonald's or whatever and you want to bless that burger, you go right ahead. It's about what it gives you and that sense of like, I feel okay. Like this makes me feel good. And if you get goodness from it, then do the habit. That's an example. Did I do okay? I hope I didn't sound too judgy because I don't eat McDonald's, but I don't eat meat either. I only eat fish. So I always feel like people will perceive that as judgy. Like, she's a vegan. But I'm not. I'm a pescatarian. I eat sushi like a mofo. Okay. I love sushi.
Like a mofo.
Like a mofo. I love fish. It was very hard to not do fish for like 4 to 5 years, whatever. Okay.
All right. Number 6, shower off the day's negative energy. Turn your shower habit into a small cleansing ritual every evening. As you wash up, while you're rinsing off, swipe your legs and arms and say a little something to release, shake off, and let run down the drain with your water. Using focus and visualizing. Oh my gosh.
Visualization.
This is using focus and visualizing negative energy as gray, brown, black, mud, smoke, ashes, whatever you want to visualize, and you're wiping it off your aura. You can even picture the situation, arguments, accidents, or mishap that leave you feeling drained and tired. I often tell the negative energy to return to where it came from. Or I say, leave me because I have no use for it.
Yes.
You could also keep a chunk of clear quartz to do this. Add aromas like jasmine, lavender, or frankincense that are purification oils. Eucalyptus is for healing. Making your own shower spray is also extremely simple to do.
Yeah. There's lots of ways to add this stuff to your shower time, but here's one of the best ways to add a new habit to your daily routine. Put it on top of a habit you already do. So you already eat, add the blessings. You're already going to shower. I hope. We all hope every single day. All right.
We believe you all shower, and we don't want to know otherwise.
Do not put in the comments if you don't.
If you don't have water where you are. If you're in Arizona and you're running out of water.
Don't say that. So what it looks like is, I learned this from, I hope I'm going to say it right, Kaylee, if she's watching this. Kaylee, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong. It's called asana. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right, but asana yoga. So if anybody knows if I'm saying that wrong or right, let me know. But she's even taught this where when we're doing our certain kind of yoga about releasing energy, you're just like swiping it from your body. You're just like, and you're just picturing, the energy like going off, and it's just a very fast movement. You're brushing it off. And so I added that to my shower routine because if you guys want to know, I'm sure you do, right? Secret shower habits. I have like a washcloth thing, and I use like a jar that's like a squeezy jar.
Liquid soap.
Yeah, the liquid soap. I have for years actually been drawing a pentagram on my soap, on my washcloth thing, and then like washing my body with that. And I swear, if anybody has seen Toy Story, you guys are going to die laughing. I never even told you this. The noise that I hear when I wash with the pentagram, because it's a protection thing for me. Like pentagram means protection for me. So that's what I imagine. I imagine all kinds of tiny, tiny little pentagrams, like, hitting me all over my body for protection. And I hear the little alien guys from Toy Story that they're like, ooh, in the claw, whatever they say. I literally hear that in the shower when it's like, ooh, like all over. And it's just a process that I've always had. It's what I envision. It's what I go through as I wash up my body and stuff. And sometimes I'll even say to my legs, like, I give them compliments, being strong and healthy and carrying me through my day, or my arms or my hands or whatever. So I also use positive affirmations while I do it. But getting rid of the negativity, it's like all of people's perceptions of me, anything unwanted, like go away, bringing myself back to balance in the water of a shower, which I love. Like water, I'm a water sign, so obviously water is my thing. And just letting it all go. And imagine it running down the drain. So we have in here, like, imagine what negative energy looks like to you. A lot of people say like smoke or dirt or black or dust or ashes or mud or whatever. But whatever negativity looks like to you, it's simple, like visualization of it running off your body and down your drain. to return to the earth. Be like, I don't need this. I don't need these negative things. I don't need that bad interaction at work. I don't need the person who yelled at me or cut me off in traffic. Let all of that shit go so that I can go to sleep tonight. And obviously you can do it in the morning too. It would just be maybe trying to attract something instead. So you can do it evening or morning.
So here's a question for when you buy soap, do you
There's a good
smell
one.
it first? Reflect over why you buy it, color, smell, name. I have a thing for pink Dove soap. I love it so much. It
Why?
feels so. I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels. I love the way I love everything about it. I've been using it for
And
years.
it's pink. Do you like the pink color?
I
Does
do
that
like
give you
the
like
pi-
a sense
it-
of something?
It does actually.
love.
I don't pick the
Pink is the
white.
color of love.
I don't pick the white. I always pick the pink soap, and that's all I've used for years. And if I don't have it, I just don't feel the same after I shower. Like if I forget it when I travel and I have to use the hotel soap, I was like, no,
It doesn't feel the same.
it
So
doesn't feel the
as
same.
we choose the things that we shower with as well, like what we put in our shower can be part of that practice to just make you feel like I'm coming in here to release the day's negativity and to feel better about myself and to like kind of give myself that pep talk of you made it through another day, like you're fine, everything's been good, and wash off all that other crap. Picking out your soap can really help with that because what smells are you attracted to? If you can actually get the smell, like mine is rose, and so it's pink. Not that I wanted that. If there was a purple soap, I'd have that in a heartbeat because that would be what nobody makes a purple soap. So with my pink soap being rose, it's like I think of the fact that the flowers, there's a connection to my husband. His family was in the rose business. So I have lots of different reasons why that fits for me. And like my mom said, it's hard to change it after you find something that you're really connected to and you're like, I enjoy this smell, I enjoy the color, I enjoy whatever else about it. But pick those things on purpose so that you know what you're using it for. I do buy bar soap that's like handmade, and I always get rosemary and lavender, and that's amazing. But I don't use that every single day. So that's more like the face soap. And so those have meanings for me. It's like using rosemary and lavender, freshen up, like wake up, have a good start to your day.
Reba, that is absolutely not weird. That sounds very that's a witch practice for sure. She uses incense around her to like dispel some bad. She was having night terrors and was struggling the next day. So
we're gonna get into something like that too for re-energizing spaces or like clearing out negativity in spaces. That's absolutely it.
I love baths too. H. Baker. Okay, number 7, use tea for magical intentions. We love tea because it's like a pre-mixed spell bag. Surprisingly, each blend has herbs that complement each other for a purpose in magic.
Yes.
Time for a show and tell.
I wrote that in there so
3.
she would stop.
Do you want to show and tell?
Okay. So I know there's like this whole thing with like tea and being fancy and like extra. I don't know. Tea was always when I was growing up, tea was for poor people. I don't know why that was, but only like where we grew up, if you drank tea, they were like, what's wrong with you? Like you can't afford something else.
You couldn't afford soda?
I don't know. So for me, tea was like,
or Kool-Aid.
People didn't value tea where I grew up. So when I went into the Navy and stuff like that, like I've learned to use tea as a way to like bring about a mood for my witchcraft.
Very soothing.
One of my favorites, this is Tazo, and I get this because it's on BOGO at Publix sometimes, you guys. But this one is an apple cinnamon, and all of the ingredients are listed on the back. And I don't have the Cunningham's book of the magical herbs, but that's basically what I use to see. All right, here's the ingredients. What would this little packet work at as a spell? Because they've already pre-mixed everything to be awesome. And this actually is awesome and amazing for prosperity and health. That's the ingredients of it. All the herbs that go together in there, they're all like money, prosperity, wealth. And then there's 2 that are health. And I'm like, yeah. So this is my wealth and health tea. So when I drink it and I add cinnamon to it as well, I drink that with the purpose of like saying, I accept wealth and health into my life. Now it's an amazing tasting tea because it's an apple tea and it's caffeine free if you don't drink caffeine. The next one, this is actually a tea that I used on my husband when he had COVID and was really sick because this is really good for blood and respiratory. It's passion fruit, and the ingredients on the back of that are the same thing. It's like good circulatory system, good health, good heart, good blood. I was like, oh shit, this is a health tea. Okay, so now this is my one. I don't really drink this one. My husband has to drink it because he has high blood pressure. And this helps with reducing blood pressure. I was like, perfect. This is a health tea. So keep this on hand all the time. My black tea that I love instead of coffee, the vanilla chai. All right, so vanilla is one of the most expensive, what would you call that? Extracts, whatever. Things to have in your cupboard, like real vanilla, because how you get vanilla is insane. You want to go down a rabbit hole? Look at how vanilla is cultivated. It's insane. But for this one, this is your get rich fast tea, because everything in here, because it's a black tea, that means things happen fast like coffee. And then the vanilla is like wealth. And the two other ingredients are all about bringing money fast, bringing prosperity. I was like, all my teas are about money and wealth. I was like, I can handle that. I can do that every day. That's totally fine with me. So if you drink tea, whether it's just herbal that tastes amazing, and don't be afraid to add sugar and milk to it like the Europeans. I love it that way, especially the darker teas. But then you can, like, over your cup of tea, be like, you know, I drink this to bring about wealth and prosperity in my life, or health and goodness, or whatever. But teas are literally little spell bags. I love them so much. Okay. That's my show and tell.
Okay. So you can use hot tea bags in cold water. Just leave them in there for 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah. You don't have to have hot tea either. Yeah.
Yeah. So
cold tea is fine.
So the herbs infuse the water. Using so the effect of this is you're using focus and intention, and to make and drink tea while focusing and or visualizing and feeling your desired outcome.
Yes.
So what herbal teas have you tried? What's your favorite flavor? Write down what the herb flavor means magically.
Write down what the herb flavor means. So when you buy a tea, or if you have a tea in your cabinet, if it's not just black tea, because black tea is just a quickening, just like coffee. And so that's fine too. If you just drink like sun tea, totally fine. That's an empowering tea. But everybody else has the ingredients on the back. So this is... Sadly, no, this is on the box. I'm sorry. I lied about that one. This is cinnamon, dried apples, chamomile, and oh my gosh, it's nutmeg. And it also just says natural flavors. The damn box is better than the bags. I'm so sorry, guys. I definitely thought they were all on the bags, but look at the boxes, because this is cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove within this guy. So it's lots
perfect.
Of good stuff.
I mean,
perfect.
You
it's
go look
at stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's literally stuff I've used in spell jars.
All the things that we have in our correspondence tables.
Yes. It's all in the Magical Herbs book, the Cunningham Magical Herbs too. It's the only book that I use right now.
Okay. Next. Number 8.
Okay.
Light candles in a specific part of your room or home to awaken energy.
Oh, yes.
So I have a story about this, because I was feeling very stressed out at work. And so I made a little tiny little altar with just a candle and some stones on it. And then like a rock that I brought from Sedona and a couple of palm stones that I could grab and like fondle. When I'm feeling stressed at work, because sometimes I work from home. So my interactions are electronic. And a lot of times, you don't get you have to read people's words. And so those come across differently than if you're talking to them and you can see their expressions. And so a lot of times I find myself really irritated or frustrated or bored or whatever. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been lighting this candle every morning when I start work. And it's like cigar room or something, which sounds really weird, but
that's the one we bought when we were together.
Yeah, but I really love the smell of it. It's just sort of
it's like leather and cigar.
Yeah, it smells so good. And I noticed today that I forgot to light it, and I realized that this afternoon I was like, oh, my mood. I could really tell the difference. So this absolutely works. I had a friend here this weekend, and she's like, you have a lot of plants and candles. I do. All right. So light a candle in a room to awaken energy.
So by lighting a flame, you're literally stirring energy. But we're going to say other things you can do if you want to go smokeless or fireless.
All right. So using the Feng Shui Bagua map, your space has 9 energy areas.
I feel like we got to address that. I don't have a Bagua map to show, but in Feng Shui, your house is broken up into areas that each energy center represents a thing in your life. I probably should have had a display of that, but there's 3 videos. We made a little playlist for all the feng shui stuff. So if you want to go check it out later, these are the energy centers in your home so that you can do what Kat's about to tell you.
Right. So like in your love gua, you might light some.
You can just
rose.
light a candle though, but this is the thing. It's any kind of movement in that space to stir up the energy, stagnant energy.
All right. The simple way to get energy flowing in that area of life is to burn a candle.
Yes.
You can also use a singing bowl. I keep a candle in each of my energy centers and I light them when I feel the need to stir energy. For example, the candle in my prosperity center gets lit a couple of times a week. When I really want to kick up the cuddle in the bedroom, I
kick up the cuddle, y'all. I felt clever when I wrote that. You want to kick up the cuddle in your bedroom?
Kick up the cuddle. I light a pair of candles.
Because it's a couple.
Because it's a couple.
We're kicking up the cuddle couple.
I light a pair of candles in my love gua. The one area I don't have a candle is my family gua because it's represented by wood and fire would not be a good energy stirrer. Instead, I sit there and stare at our happy family photos and feel the love and gratitude that flows between us.
So this is helpful. Like if we have a family squabble or for some reason we're distant from the family, because the family center of the home is represented by the wood element, you don't really want to burn fire in there. You don't want to put fire in that room because it represents wood and fire burns wood. Instead, you would go in there with something else. Like that's where the singing bowl would be perfect or spraying water around would be perfect. But anything that you can do to stir up the energy within your home is, you didn't say the thing yet, but.
Okay. So this is going to, instead of doing a spell to create a change,
instead of a spell,
use the energy in your home or space to pay attention to the problem area.
Yes.
This allows you to be quick and intentional with inviting a change or a shift.
Yes. So how this works, the situation is like this. You get into an argument with your mother. Damn it. What's wrong with you? You go home and you're like, I'm pissed at my mom. You go into your family center of your home. Everybody has one. That's where the Bagua map will come in handy. You go to that energy center and then you do something to stir up the energy in that space so that whatever is stagnant there, maybe there's a mess there, you can clean that up. And that way you can give attention to the situation without having to do a spell, without having to put a bunch of stuff together, without having to do a lot of like thought work. It's quick. It's an actionable item that you're like, oh, all right. That's why I said, if you want to kick up the cuddle in your love life, do something that's in your love gua. If you want to bring about more prosperity in your life, go to the prosperity center of your home and light a candle or do a singing bowl or spray water, something that shifts the air in there and gets things moving through it. Because feng shui literally means wind and water. And so that's directing the flow of energy coming in and out of a house. And if you can go, oh, I didn't have it. I didn't write that down.
What?
Damn it.
Water?
Okay. No, an exercise.
Oh. No, I don't
It's not
think
there?
so. No, you didn't write down an exercise.
Yikes. It looks like the other half of it, it's not there.
Oh.
Okay. Here's my exercise for you guys. All right. You ready for this? Acknowledge problem areas in your life, whatever they are. Job, kids, career, love. Thank you, Mom. No 40ism here. Whatever it is, acknowledge the thing that you need help in or change in. Okay. I want you to get that Bagua map. Bagua. Should I spell it? I feel weird with you guys not having notes, but Bagua is spelled Bagua. Bagua. And I think it just means energy center, actually. When you look at that over your house, go to the area that represents where you believe you have a problem. What is in that area? Is it full of shit you don't need? Is it dirty? Are there broken things there? Because all you have to do is shift those few things in that energy center and start to see the changes within your life, within the relationships, within whatever's going on. That's one of the actions is our homes are energy representations of what we deal with in the outside world. Shifting it is as easy as lighting a candle. But now I feel like I needed to give like a lesson on feng shui, but
no, actually you don't. But I just had a epiphany with all of this, and that is, I just told Jamie tonight. I've been on Tinder for a little while. I was talking to 2 guys, and last week I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just it's just too much energy for me. Well, not that they weren't nice, but it's too much texting. And I'm like, okay, I'm bored, moving on. But I just realized that my bedroom is my love gua. And I have really been letting my bedroom be messy, like clothes everywhere, not making the bed, not cleaning it. And I'm like, oh shit, I bet those two things are related. My apathy toward these gentlemen who are nice, but I'm like, I don't know why. I just don't give a shit.
Which is crazy because she does want love. So she has this desire for love.
But I'm not taking care of my love gua. So it's like I'm not feeling this. I'm not doing the thing to change the energy in that room that would support
that energy center.
Yeah, that would support that.
That would support.
And consequently, I'm like, whatever, I don't care.
She's blowing off nice guys.
Yeah. So anyway,
don't make it true that good guys finish last. Don't make that true. I fought that for so long.
Good guys need to say, let's meet for a cup of coffee instead of texting you every day. Be like,
I tried to
how did you sleep?
There's
how was your
questions.
Day?
They don't know how to approach a total stranger online. All right, you guys want to wait, no. I'm now you already put it out there. Now I'm going to say the real.
We have 10 minutes left and we've got we're on number 9. We got a lot to go through. We need to stop.
But this is funny. I think all of our people will appreciate this one.
Go ahead. We might go a little long tonight.
You guys want to know what happened when she's like, I'm bored with these guys? Because they asked simple questions like, how did you sleep? How's your day? I said, at least they're not sending you a dick picture. That's the wrong direction to go. So you got how was your sleep? How was your night? Or a dick pic. I'm like, come on, mom. This is what you got. Okay. So you're on the right side with this. I think everybody would appreciate that. So.
Because they probably do have a pretty interesting dick pic first thing in the morning.
She went way further with that than I should have had the last word.
Yes, I just went there. Okay, number 9. Moving on from
13 witch habits for 2023.
Moving on from Kat's drama. Number 9, breathe or breath work or meditation.
Breath work or meditation.
Okay.
Super easy.
Okay, so when we slow our bodies down and just focus on breathing, a lot can happen. Your mind starts racing and all your fears and worries come to the surface.
When you're new at meditating, yes.
This can be a good thing. Write those worries down, then write what control you have about the situation, and then write how you can solve them. Yes. For example, if you started worrying about a bill or a health concern, write the worry down. I would write down
too much weight.
Too much excess weight.
I'm fluffy.
I'm fluffy too.
I'm fluffy.
We're all fluffy. We've been really indulging with the.
I still blame COVID. 2 years later, COVID. It's like COVID 20.
What control do I have? What control do I have? I feed myself and I can buy any food, so I have complete control. Solve the excess weight problem with getting exercise and not overindulging too often. So that was Jamie's telling the story about her problem.
So what fear comes up when I'm in my meditation? All right, I'm like, God, I should be exercising instead of meditating, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
all
right,
my fluffy belly.
Write it down.
My fluffy.
Now look at what control you have. All right, I buy my own food and I'm in charge of my own time, so I can do this. It's not in my control. And then you work on that. So I just use my weight as an example because I'm lame. I don't know.
Well, no, it's something that you're not thinking about a lot. But
that does not come up in my meditations. That's just what came up when I was like, what don't I like about myself? While I was writing this, it's like, oh, what can I complain about? I could lose weight.
Well, she has a good life, so you don't have a lot of worries of the typical sort. Although you typical stuff, sort. Yeah. Well, not like bills you can't pay and stuff.
I have a $150,000 hospital bill that I just incurred, but thank you. Yes. Okay. For my kid.
Let's see. So what this does is this habit lowers the negative effect of stress and is
by breathing
and is us taking responsibility for ourselves and our actions. This is the beginning of shadow work, uncovering our fear and the stories we tell ourselves.
Yes.
Stories about how we are controlled by others, or we are stuck. That we believe we have no choice. We always have a choice. This is a way to reinforce that we have free will. Pretty much everything that we watch, eat, or do is exerting free will. If we don't like something, we can change it.
So breath work and meditation really are the beginning of shadow work. I know a lot of people are super interested in shadow work because it gets into the depth of stuff. When you start your breath work and meditation, when you slow yourself down to really just assess and like just be right here and nowhere else, that's the beginning of shadow work, because all of your stuff starts coming up, all your fears, all your worries, all of the little mind chatters. So as you do this, write that stuff down and figure out how to solve those problems. And that's what will help you grow. So from shadow work, we grow into who we want to become. So this is just another way to continue to learn ourselves, get educated, work through our shit, overcome it, and elevate.
And elevate
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And just realizing that we do have free will. I know when I was younger, a lot of people used to say, like, I'm stuck, I can't, oh, somebody else is in control of me. I was like, there's always free will that you can exert in some way, shape, or form. Look for that and then exert it.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Before you say it. All right, now say it. Smells good, huh?
All right, number 10, using smells to change your mood.
Yes.
Is that eucalyptus or lavender?
No, it's my lavender and mint sleep spray.
I like it. So lavender, rosemary, sweet orange, and chamomile are known to increase serotonin in our bodies. Bergamot, lavender, and lemon help release dopamine and serotonin. Effect. Put ancient knowledge.
She's reading it fast, but I hope you guys are getting that. There are certain smells that we have that release dopamine and serotonin. Our happy chemicals. It's like
bergamot,
woo!
Lavender, and lemon.
Yes.
I don't know what bergamot is, but
it's an orange smell. Okay. Bergamot's orange.
And then lavender, rosemary, sweet orange, and chamomile are known to increase serotonin.
Yes. They make you happy literally just from smelling them. So this is, did you already say action? So
no, I haven't. Well, the action is using smells.
Using smells to change your mood. Here's how to elevate yourself. Here's how to snap yourself out of a fit. What?
Yes, Joanne is telling me I'm talking too fast.
I know.
Like, sorry about that.
She's feeling rushed because she thinks she's on a time limit. I can take over.
No, your voice is going. So you're talking a lot, by the way. So which is a compliment, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
That wasn't like a hey, shut up kind of thing. Right?
Absolutely not. No. So the effect of this is that you're putting ancient knowledge to work in your modern life. The chemicals released in our bodies help with digestion and sleep, but also put us in a good mood.
Yay, good moods.
Of course, you don't need to know all the science behind how smells can put us in better moods. Just start experimenting with different herbal smells.
Okay. If anybody got to watch the video where, I don't even remember what I called it now. It was from chaotic to calm, the hospital video that I did. This is actually the smell that I used for myself and my son. And he now asks for it. He's like, where is your oil that you put on my hand in the hospital? He's like, where's that sweet smelling? I think he called it lemon. It's actually citrus. It's like orange. But he wants this now because it helps so much for those 6 days that we were in the hospital. And when the doctors came in, like every time the medical team would like walk in, they're like, wow, what's that smell in here? Everybody got super happy. They didn't even want to talk about it.
What is it?
It's a citrus blend. All right, rub it. So I just use this little,
nice.
It's the best.
Wow.
I love it. So I would rub this on mine and Cameron's hands while we were in the hospital. Anytime that we started to feel really heavy, because being stuck there, we were like in prison. He was hooked up to all kinds of machines, couldn't even roll over, could barely sleep. It was tough. So I was like, this will help make our mood better. I had a lavender for when we slept. And then I had this, it's just called citrus blend. It's not like a thing. And it's got tiger's eye in it, which
it's definitely got some lemon in it.
Some lemon. It's fantastic. And it makes
wonderful.
It makes your mood like instantly happy. It smells bright and sunny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So this is how I actually use this just recently. Like I wrote this, my son had a seizure, and then I used the things that I was going to talk about that same night. It was kind of wild how everything played together, but using the smells to help change the energy in our room. I'm telling you, when the doctors came in, everybody was happy. Everybody was like smiling. It was like, oh, what is that? One doctor was like, can I smell that? Can you put some on me? Like, yeah, go around smelling great to your other patients too. I'm totally cool with it. She's like, where do I buy that? I was like,
we need smell-o-vision. I love that.
Yes.
Smell-o-vision. And Joellen, Joellen,
Picture
my
oranges.
son made those. He put those together for the three of us for
Yes.
Christmas.
It was a Christmas present from my brother.
Yeah. So he like made us these whole little bottles, and he
Yes.
mixed them up himself and put the stones in them and everything.
Yeah.
Bought the bottles and then made them really nice.
This one's similar, but same.
I like that too.
And we just keep them around.
I'm moving mine to my desk now because I just feel like I could really,
I have them around.
I really could use that in the middle of the day. Okay, so just experimenting with different
experiment with your smells. See what you like.
You can look up the 15 most common essential oils and try them out, and they're the ones you like the most and how they help you.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the essential oil movement that I never really got into because people made it really weird. I'm like, it can literally just be, you don't have to buy anything. My lavender one is still in its original bottle, and I just dump it over on my hand a little bit. Well, I almost dropped that. And then just tap it. I'm like, whoa, the room smells amazing. I mean, it fills up my entire space. It's not just on me. Anybody walking into my, 10 by 20 room can smell it. So it goes a long way. And that can help change your mood, alter things. So I use this when I have anxiety or feeling like trauma. I did have sprays before, but when my brother made me the oils, I was like, oh, this is much smaller and definitely the way to go. So keeping it in my car for when I'm like stressed out in traffic, breathe this in and not want to crash into everybody, not play. What's that called? Bumper cars. Yeah. Another habit that you can add in that just gives you like another piece of using the ancient knowledge of essential oils and herbs and smells to change your mood.
Okay.
Yay.
Number 11, cook with intention or buy food with intention. This means you're buying things you know the magical properties of.
Yes.
To learn this, pick one food, fruit or vegetable a week
just
to use in dishes and repeat to yourself what properties it has.
Yes.
The effect, getting to know more about what we put in our bodies, what comes from the earth, and what we can also use in spells if needed.
So I love this because this is actually turning your kitchen into your spell cabinet. As you work with the foods that you normally cook with, like if you love cilantro like I do, what can cilantro be used for in spells? Dried mostly. What can mint be used for? So it's just looking at the spices that are in the food you love. And it can be like, I love Italian food. All right, look at Italian spices. Those are actually all about like family and health. I found it so interesting because when we think about Italian food, you do think about like the warmth, the family, like being around a fire, like everybody talking. And I feel like I want to do an accent, but I don't have one. I don't have an Italian accent I could do. So when you look at the food that you love, like we love Mexican food. Like that is our go-to. Love it.
Cilantro,
so cilantro,
lime,
salsa, the fresh salsa, everything that goes into it.
Cumin.
So when you look at those are all about like energy and movement and like getting out into the world, adventures. Like, yeah, we've done a lot of that. Okay. So you can actually look at the type of food that you like and the spices or herbs that go into it and then see how that fits in your life. You would be surprised that you mimic the magical properties of the food because you like them. You do the things, you have the habits. Like if you love Italian food, family is probably really important to you. And the spices that go into Italian food mean that, the magical properties of it. I only figured this out like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8, when I met my husband and he was super into Italian food. And I'm like, I don't eat that. I don't know. What's wrong with Italian food? Why don't I ever eat it? Well, our family, we were all very strong, independent people, and we were all loners kind of in our own ways. So our family unit we love each other, but we weren't super close. Whereas my husband's family, they're like 5 generations deep. So they all love Italian food. I was like, this really matches lifestyle. I thought it was pretty wild. So check that out. Again, the book that I'm using, you can use the Cunningham's, oh shit.
I'll get it. Hey, can you read the 12 and 13? I got it.
Yes.
Take a little break. Excuse me.
Yes. Cunningham's Magical Herbs. It's something like that. There's also another one that's called Wicca in the Kitchen. That book has had 4 titles. So if you're not practicing Wicca, that's okay. But Wicca in the Kitchen goes through other foods and like fruits and vegetables and stuff that aren't in the Cunningham's Herbs book. So if you wanted to know about all of the fruits or vegetables as a whole and not as a spice, that's a good book to get as well. Okay, so number 12, which I also did talk about in the video, but I will reiterate here, it's wearing your stones with purpose. So my rings each have a purpose, even diamonds. If you have diamonds like as a gift or if it's your wedding band or whatever, diamonds have a purpose as well. They are a gemstone that have a magical purpose. And when I wear them, I think about, it's only at the moment that I put them on that I'm like, okay, I'm putting on my ring for keeping in touch with my spiritual side, looking at the signs that I get from the universe. You know, when I put on my Larimar, it's like, all right, I'm getting intuitive. I'm getting more down deep in my roots. I'm in touch with my emotions. I'm not going to mask them. I'm going to be who I truly am. So we wear our stones for magical intentions. My amethyst, this is my birthstone, but also purple is like the sign, or purple is the color of every religion's, what do you call this? Like highest spiritual room. It's the royal color. It's like the higher color, which is our top chakra, is a purple or violet or whatever color. So when I wear my stones, I wear them with the intention of what I seek to bring into my life. So I have my standard bracelets that I wear that have different purposes. And when I put them on, that's just what I think about. I'm like, okay, I'm covered with love. I'm covered with security, and I'm covered with my emotional wellness. Awesome. Good. So when we put on our jewelry or we carry stones in our pockets, I didn't bring any small stones, but you can put them in your pockets, in your purse. You're carrying them with intention. So every time you move that stone, it's a very small habit of just saying, I put this here for protection. I wear this for bringing love. You know, I wear this for bringing about prosperity. I wear this to deepen my connection with my ancestors. Whatever it is, the thing that you're trying to pull into you. That's why we wear our stones. The one thing about this that I love is we buy a lot of stones because they're beautiful. At least a lot of the people that I know, and I definitely did this in my early years as being a witch. I just wanted to be surrounded by stones. But when you are able to wear them and give them a purpose, then you're using them. They're not just pretty. They're not just decor. It's like they truly do have a purpose in your space. So if you have them as decor around your house, go around and like touch each one and say what they're for. Like, I keep this amethyst here because it brings about love and protection for family. I keep this selenite here because it brings about a deep connection with the moon and my feminine. Whatever it is, I keep this citrine here because this is my prosperity gua, and I want to bring in as much prosperity in my home to share with my family as I can. And if you just give it that purpose, it's simple. It does not need to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a spell. It just needs to be like you affirming what each of your stones do for you. That way you're moving with intention as you go through it. So my to-do for this was whatever stones you have, write down the magical properties of them. And then one thing to note is like all stones have multiple properties, right? So amethyst has many things that it does. Just pick one for yourself. We get really caught up in trying to remember like the 5 things that a stone can do. Just pick one thing that your stone does for you. And you don't have to make it do anything else. It's like you are in charge of this. That's it. That's all. I know you can do more, but right now you're hired for this job right here. And that's all you're doing. And you keep it there with that intention. So it kind of releases you from having to remember the 500 things that a stone can do. It's like, yeah, you may wear amethyst for a different reason than I wear amethyst. And that's okay. Do you have stones like that where...
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah, the clear quartz is like that. Amplifier,
I have a tiger's
cleanser,
eye and black tourmaline.
Yeah,
and rose quartz.
There you go.
Yep.
I have a black tourmaline in my purse at all times. So the very last one. So that was 12, wearing our stones with intentions. Now it is using color magic. Colors are the easiest way to bring in a magical purpose. They're in our clothes, they're in our everyday items, but you can choose that how you dress yourself, undergarments or outside clothes, what your magical purpose is. I wear a lot of black. And I always thought that was because I didn't like any other colors, but now I recognize that black makes me feel protected. And coming from a place where, you know, I have PTSD, I like the feeling that I'm armed without actually carrying a gun. I used to carry a gun and it wasn't always fun. It was always something to worry about. Like I feel like it gave me more anxiety to carry a gun, like a concealed weapon, than just wearing the black. Like I feel much more comfortable wearing black than I do carrying a weapon. So when you pick your colors based on what you want to do, like for a date, Would you wear bright red out on a date?
I would wear red.
Mm-hmm. Red is for passion. She wants to
Empower.
empower. So you make an impression even with the colors that you wear. We wear a lot of blue. Grab that blue, mommy. This is like my husband's favorite blue because he's a Cubs fan. And I love this blue. I had a car this color. Like, this is my blue. I used to call it ocean blue, but now I call it Cubs blue because I'm married to a Cubs fan. But that blue for me is like a super happy, calming color. I feel so confident. I'm like, oh God, I bathe in this color. I love it so much. That's just like teal or the very emerald green. These colors can give us feelings, and we assign the feeling to the color. So when we want to bring on the feeling, put the color on. Like for you, how often do you wear pink?
As much as possible. I like pink and I like yellow, and I never liked those colors before I moved here.
And she's blue. Looking for love, and so she's wearing pink. Isn't that cute? So
Yeah.
you can kind of see how when we put on the colors, it's attracting the thing that we're also looking for. And colors can have, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4. It's like stones. They can have 3 or 4 meanings. But when we dress in the colors where we want to attract the thing that the color is associated with, we're more successful at that. I was about to say something about being mugged, but I actually don't remember what I was wearing that day. I got mugged in Barcelona one time at like 7 a.m, which was a real shock. And I'm like, what was I wearing that day?
Workout clothes.
Probably because I had to take a train ride like an hour and a half away. But as you dress yourself for those events, for things that you're doing to accomplish what you're looking for, to bring in the intention that you seek, it's another way to like use the ancient knowledge of colors, be more intentional with the way that you dress.
Change the energy, change the
Change your energy, change your mood.
Change your mood,
yeah. Set the intention of like, I'm wearing pink today specifically so I can meet somebody and have like a cute, loving conversation. Maybe it's like short, it doesn't have to go anywhere, but
yeah, you're right. Only if he's good looking though. Yes, absolutely.
It reminds me of, this is going to sound so bad. For anybody who wears cheetah print, this is not aimed towards you, okay? But it reminds me of the ladies that I would see in the club when I was like in my late 20s in cheetah print, still acting like they're 20 and totally out cougaring it. I was like, oh shit, they're really on the hunt. Like they will really do some damage tonight if people aren't careful. And I used to love that. I'm like, she's a goddess right now. She's out for exactly what she wants. No messing around. It's not that she necessarily wants a relationship, but like she knows what she wants and she's on the hunt, on the prowl. And that's what the pattern actually represents. Like it's so, if you think about it in that way, you're like, oh, okay, they really mean business, or like this is how they're feeling, or
I've seen those ladies.
Yeah. They call them cougars for a reason. Yeah. I'm almost 42, so I think I could technically be at what age do you have to be? Do you know? No.
I think it just means you go for a really younger guy. That you're a cougar.
That ain't me.
So you could be 20 years old. You could be a cougar at any age.
I've never worn cat prints. I guess that's
hopefully you're at least 30 though, because otherwise the younger guy is illegal.
Potentially 15-year-olds. You're going to the DMV during the permit season. It could be a thing. I don't know. So, all right, that is number 13 of our 13 witchy habits for 2023. This was super entertaining. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And if Kat talked fast during some of it, I'm so sorry. I'll go back and put in chapters so that I can mark each one of the 13 so you guys can restart it over so that it's there. But I wanted to do this lesson so bad, and I'm very grateful that I got a chance to do it as we rescheduled it. And I hope you guys found it like useful, helpful. You don't have to try everything, but at least try like half or do something. And if you want to tell us how it goes, please let us know. Like we'd love to hear about. You can comment on the video once it's live, because right after this, it goes live. Yeah. Comment on the video. Let us know what you tried, what you're going to do.
Your experiences with any one of these things that you've ever done.
One of these things. Yeah. Even if you change them a little bit, like awesome. Remember, everything that we say should fit to what you want. So whatever you change about it is A-okay with us. We're fine. We're just giving you ideas so that you can get something into a practice that helps you further your witch journey.
Your spiritual journey. You're getting to your higher self.
Your witchy spiritual journey.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight after a long 10-day hiatus of not having this meetup. Very grateful. I know that in just a couple of days, we're doing the cleansing cleansing. I'm going to try to say that again. Cleansings and blessings. That doesn't sound right. Blessings and cleansings on Thursday. So that is a much shorter list so that it's not so complicated, but we hope you guys enjoyed this, and
we'll see you back.
I wish I could stay on here for like an hour. I know that I can't edit this part out. So
she does wish she could stay on here for like another hour.
I'd still be here. I'm staying. But I want to give you guys your night back and just thank you for your time. And hopefully, like, even if you guys want to go onto the Facebook thing, the Facebook group, and mention anything that you're going to try or do, I'd love to hear it. I'm tracking that still. I'm still working out, like, getting on the social media. So I love it.
Thank you all for being here. We hope to see you again on Thursday. Are you reading?
Yes, because H. Baker said, oh, darn, I wanted to make some moon water. Hey, we got a video on moon water. Make some moon water.
You can still make it. The moon is full out there
Make
tonight.
any moon water you want. Yeah, and you can make moon water at any period that you want to. But yes, make moon water. I usually say, I love that it looks like World Heart D1. I don't know what that stands for, but you can make moon water because the next 2 nights after. Yes. So when we talk about moon cycles, there's 8 cycles within the 28 days. We think about like a day and a half before the actual event and then a day and a half after. So you can use that time period of the full moon to make moon water anywhere in that time. So it's like 3.5 days of full moon energy to make whatever waters you want to make. I'm just catching that at the end of it. So yes, and Reba said you can still make moon water. Thanks, Reba. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm reading through the comments. Okay, I know they're going to be on the replay, and I'll read them later. But we had so much fun too, you guys. Thank you for being here again.
Thank
and
you.
We will let you guys go. Okay, see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
For blessings and cleansings and blessings.
Bye.
Bye.